Welcome everyone to Meditation Mount and to our group meditation in the solar sign of Capricorn with the full moon in Cancer. We'd like to begin by just taking a few moments to stop and assess what's happening around the world. We as one human family on all continents are going through many tests and trials, whether this be warfare, nation against nation, whether this be people suffering from the effects of extreme weather. It could be our neighbors to the south of us in Los Angeles who are going through this intense inferno, this firestorm, this wildfire. We want to acknowledge that all of humanity is being tested. All of us need to hold each other in the heart, to be compassionate, and to help each other heal, and to come to a place where we can regenerate, rebuild, and create a new way of living together. And so we want to just take a few moments, invite all of us to open our heart to our sisters and brothers around the world and see out of this suffering something new arising. The possibility, the hope of a brighter future. So we have two tasks. One is to hold the suffering of the world in our heart. The other is to plant the seeds of the new. And we need to do that simultaneously. Thank you. So we're going to start by gathering ourselves together and creating a receptive group field. We are actually in different geographic locations. We're in different time zones. And yet, as we come together inside this boundless region of the heart of the one humanity, time and distance actually disappear. And we stand in shared space at the same precise moment together. So inside the heart, we are always present in the unified field of the here and now. And that's why we will be doing a centering meditation that brings us into the heart. So we bring ourselves fully present to this moment by relaxing first our physical body through a series of deep, gentle breaths. And then our emotional body, letting go of any feelings that are swirling and pulling us off center. Allow any troubled waters to subside and become calm. And likewise with the mind. Allow any extraneous thoughts that may be flying around simply to dissolve, to disappear, to leave the sky of our mind clear, free from clouds, allowing the sun to shine, the light of the soul to shine. And now we enter together the silence of the heart. And as we stand inside this sacred place, we become aware of the fire of love that burns at the center of each one of us. And we see these flames, these fires, the fire of love in each heart, sending out lighted love, and see these rays move from heart to heart to heart to heart, weaving together out of our many hearts the one heart that is the matrix of our communion and our community together. And then allow the heart that is our group heart to connect with other hearts, other groups and individuals around the world who are gathered at this time to honor the full moon meditation as a blessing to the world. So together we stand as a great planetary network of light. We're gathered to align with the heavens in order to receive, to register, and to radiate the blessings pouring into our earth through the constellation of Capricorn and pouring into our earth from the subtle realms of Gaia. So let's sense this deep union that we have with each other. Thank you. Let's begin by understanding the nature and significance of this particular sign of the zodiac, because it's bathing us. We're being infused by its energies this month. So Capricorn, as you know, is an earth sign whose symbol is the goat. And this expresses the tests and difficulties of ascending the mountain of spiritual achievement. And the Ageless Wisdom teaching explains that, and I'm going to read the quote, Capricorn is the sign in which is inaugurated a new cycle of effort, whether this effort is in connection with the individual person or with the initiate. Effort, strain, struggle, the fight with the forces native to the underworld, or the strenuous conditions entailed by the tests of discipleship or initiation, these are distinctive of the experience in Capricorn. So this is a time of testing when we have to climb the mountain together. And the symbol of the goat is important because the goat finds its sustenance in the harsh areas of the mountain. And when we talk about the goat in Capricorn climbing the mountain, symbolically it's said that it must climb the mountain on its knees, which is a symbol for humility. So amidst the hardships, we learned to bring everything into right proportion. We learn to ascend. We learn to move ever onwards. So in Capricorn, it's a very interesting sign because you've got two forces at play here. You've got the triumph of matter as it reaches its densest and most concrete expression, and yet we also have the triumph of the spirit. So providing the illumination that governs the intuition, Capricorn represents soul consciousness in its later stages of the spiritual journey, allowing the prepared initiate to declare, I realize. But it also represents this really dense material aspect. So the keynotes of Capricorn, as we just learned, are effort, struggle, and determination. Now, each of these signs has planetary rulers. And for Capricorn, both the esoteric, the inner, and the exoteric, the outer ruler of this sign is Saturn. And Saturn forces us to face our karmic liabilities that, when overcome, will bring liberation. So we're in this time of facing the consequences of our actions. As we say often, our karmic chickens are coming home to roost. And Saturn is also a third ray planet, so it brings the energy of activity and intelligence, because the third ray is active intelligence. Now, we've used the word karma. I just want to say a brief word on karma. I know I view karma as representing the lessons to be learned on the path of liberation and not a punishment. I believe we live in an earthly classroom and not a terrestrial courtroom. Yes, we do judge and assess our actions, but karma is, if you like, a gracious gift of a generous universe that always provides us with the necessary lessons and opportunities in order to embrace and redeem past actions that may not have been the personality's most skillful expressions of our soul qualities. I mean, I can relate to that. So rather than feeling we're on the wrong end of something and being punished, karma basically said, look, you've got a lesson to learn. If you want to create a vehicle that can bring through the full splendor of the soul, you've got a bit more building and shaping and polishing and purifying to do. And here's the next lesson. And you've earned it by showing that you're slightly deficient in this, and we want to make you proficient. So karma is a way that we become proficient in being a soul on earth. So it allows us that space of grace to grow, to bring our outer life into alignment with our inner life. And this is what we call living in integrity. So let's get back to Capricorn. Why is the earth sign of Capricorn such an auspicious time for initiating a new season of cycle or soul growth? And the answer lies in the symbol of the two-horned goat and its task of climbing the rock-strewn and arid mountain to reach the summit. So what I'd like to do is actually show a picture of the goat so we can hold this in mind. So the tasks in Capricorn are the conquest of matter, the elevation of consciousness and liberation from the past, the overcoming of pride and ambition. And pride is why the goat goes up the mountain on its knees, to show humility. So it's the overcoming of pride and ambition and the eventual experience of illumination on the top of the mountain. And the mountaintop represents the summit of initiation. It's that high place where, quote unquote, the four winds of heaven blow. So as the seeker, as humanity seeking to find the truth of who it is, we climb the mountain of karma and are presented with a seemingly unended uphill struggle until we finally reach the mountaintop where a greater light is to be found. And now I want to switch the image because the image does shift. When we finally reach the summit, the goat, or the spiritual seeker, has a peak experience and is literally transformed into the unicorn. And as you know, the unicorn possesses a single spiral horn that connects and communes with the cosmos. And this allows the power and presence of a greater light to flow into and through the intrepid climber. And we're reminded of a biblical text that says, "When thine eye be single, thy body shall be full of light." And it refers to this. The single horn of the unicorn is located at the point of the forehead we call the ajna center, or third eye. So the goat, or the seeker who previously could only see through two earthly eyes, now reaches a higher state of consciousness upon summiting the mountain and now sees with the single spiritual eye. This really is the key. So we've come up the mountain, we've sort of made our way up under very strenuous conditions, and then we've had this point of illumination, and we are full of light. So let's explore a little bit more what happens when the light comes into us. So Capricorn is the light of initiation. And once again, the Ageless Wisdom teaching sums it up this way. This is the light which clears the way to the mountaintop and produces transfiguration, thus revealing the rising sun. Now, the deep nature of Capricorn and the experience in this sign is reflected in its spiritual motto. Lost am I in light supernal, yet on that light I turn my back. Lost am I in light supernal, and yet on that light I turn my back. So as one of the three signs of the zodiac which expresses the first ray of will and power, we're told that Capricorn is, and I'm going to quote again from the teaching, is the constellation by means of which comes the conquering will which releases from form life and initiates the person into the kingdom wherein the will aspect, not the soul aspect of divinity, expresses itself. So this light supernal that floods into us is the light of our true self, the light of the monad, the light of that highest fire that lives at the center of our own universe of self, our own sovereign self. So we see in the task of the goat climbing the mountain, being transformed into the unicorn, it's really the journey that we're on. So having reached the mountaintop and received illumination, the spiritual seeker then turns their back on the light. This is what that spiritual motto said: lost am I in light supernal, yet on that light I turn my back. Now, it doesn't mean I turn my back, I snub it, I have nothing to do with it. On the contrary, I don't take it for myself. I turn my back on it so that that light can pour through me and it will shine through me into the world. And it won't reach the world if I stay on the mountaintop. So the role of that being, any one of us who's received illumination, is to turn your back on the light and through an act of will choose to bring this light, this illumination, back into the dark valleys and places of everyday life to aid in the liberation. And the liberation is from the current imprisonment that is the darkness of form and materialism. It doesn't mean that matter's bad. It means that we mustn't get stuck in matter. We must utilize it. We must utilize it for building the good. But when we're imprisoned in matter, we need to be liberated. So the unicorn really represents the liberation of the soul-infused personality. So Capricorn is the 10th sign of the zodiac, if you're counting, like around the wheel. And it's said that the final two signs, Aquarius and Pisces, are called signs of world service. It really says that once you've taken the light from the top of the mountain down into the valley, you're then going to be of service. So in Aquarius, which is the water bearer and the bringer of the new gifts of the new age, that is a time of great service. And the age that we're moving out of, Pisces, was also called the age of the server, the age of the savior. The Christ was called the world savior. Buddha was the liberator. And other beings who have reached enlightenment showed us how to free ourselves so that we could allow the true light of who we are to shine in the world. And that's what I believe we're hoping, that out of all these trials and tribulations that we are going through as our humanity, out of this struggle, a light will be born inside our heart, inside our mind, that says we are one life. We are here together to build something new. So really those are some words about Capricorn and the characteristics of it. Also the opportunities facing us. So that's probably sufficient words by way of introduction. So let's just take a deep breath and let's hold all of these impressions and allow them to come alive in us. Because we are alive on a planet that is alive, inside a galaxy that is alive, and we have to come alive ourselves. And that's why we meditate together. We meditate at the time of the full moon to come into alignment with greater lives, greater expressions of the one life. So with all that pulsing in our heart and mind, Diana will now lead us in the full moon meditation.
Thank you, Michael. That was beautiful. Greetings. So good to be with us together in group meditation. And I'll just remind you and kind of pick up where Michael left off, that we are doing world service meditation, which is the highest vibration of meditation when we are ascending in that way, and then we come back down the mountain and we offer the teaching. It's very high vibration work. It's about the whole of humanity. So it's very, very powerful. The moon will be exact tomorrow at 2:26 p.m. at Capricorn 24. The full moon is in Capricorn, is in Cancer 24. I want to briefly show the astrological chart that I built earlier, just because there's something in it that I could spend a couple hours talking about this chart, but I just want to share this aspect of it so you can get a feeling about what's happening. So I'm calling this full moon the compassion moon. And that is the practice with Cancer, full moon. It's conjunct Mars. So it's super intense. But what is beautiful about this chart is there's a bridge in it. I don't know if you can see the geometry of this line of the sun and moon opposition, and then this cross very tight with Neptune and Uranus. These are trining, Sun trine Uranus, Moon and Mars, trine Neptune. This is a very spiritual full moon. And I call this a bridge aspect. And there's a lot more to it than that, but it is a very high vibration full moon. The thing I wanted to point out is the degree of the sun's position at 24 Capricorn. And the Sabian symbol for this degree is a woman entering a convent. And I wrote my little note to myself was conscious election of service. A woman entering a convent. So these are kind of philosophical things to think about in terms of what the sun degree and what the solar degree is calling from us, which is this call to service. And isn't that ever true right now? We are being called to service so much. I live in Los Angeles and have a ring of fire around our city. And as many of you know, Los Angeles is the heart chakra of the United States. So it's interesting that we're on fire, heart on fire. This is some kind of initiation. It is way too soon to say or say anything much more than that right now. And our hearts go out to everyone that is, in the path of the fire or that lost things or their homes and their worlds. But this is a powerful time, as you all know, in the world, right? And so Los Angeles being the heart chakra of the US adds an interesting note to all of this. And I just wanted to bring that up at least just to ponder gently. With Capricorn, we always go up. Capricorn climbs the mountain, like Michael was explaining, and one foot in front of the other. And it's persistent, and it's sure-footed, and it's patient. And those are all good words for right now, for us to remember and hold in this time of initiation, in this time of ascent, and in this time of illumination. So even though there is so much happening, and that quality of wildfire is really interesting to think about too, because there's a lot of wildfires going on around the world by media, by mind, by talking, by gossip, by thinking, even, right? There's wildfire, and one thing can lead to another very quickly. And as meditators, we know the soul is in meditation deep, and you just come home, and you can discern between all the noise that's out there what's true, what next, what to do, what to say, how to hold, right? All those things that we practice at this time of great need in our world. So we're just starting, and 2025, and what a way to start. And as I've said, no matter what you see, no matter what you think, no matter what you know, no matter how it is, you still hold up for the highest, highest vibration you can reach, that you can hold, that you can touch. And so when we go into our meditation, we're going to work with that energy of raising our vibration, recovering, from the different shocks that are happening around the planet, and hold our center like disciples. We're disciples. And disciple and discipline are interconnected words. So we use our discipline of our meditation to hold steady. So when you're ready to, we're going to go into a meditation which will have about 10 minutes of silence in it. But I'll set it up now. So take a breath collectively. All of us take a breath together, as we kind of energetically join up, become integrating with each other, heart to heart. And as you take another breath, think of every other meditator around the planet on a full moon, which there are many, that are also aligning with this cosmic clock of the moon. And on your next breath, aligning with all hearts, heart to heart, and breathing through your own heart center as you balance your energies, sensing the community of consciousness that there is, and that you are not alone, and that there are many, many, many conscious souls. And we are holding for the greater good of our world. So taking another breath, organizing yourself into your body physically, relax your shoulders, relax your legs, relax your hands, your fingers, relax your face, relax your brain, relax your eyes, and land into your heart center. And from your heart center, breathing now gently, inhaling and exhaling softly through the heart center, letting the heart energy be a balm to any of the spiky edges of what has occurred that you may know about, or that you've heard about, or that you've experienced. And you use your heart breath. I've been calling this lately medicine breath. Use your heart breath to soothe your physical body, to soothe your heart, and consciously breathing through the heart, letting your whole body self balance and rebalance to the conditioning of the heart energy. And because we are connected heart to heart, we're all conditioning each other. Can you feel that? So there is a big love here. There is a big heart here. And our big hearts can hold all of this. Gently breathing through that heart center softly, and feel your whole body come into a humming harmony of peace and calm. And then feel from the heart center a line of light, like silvery light, that goes straight up through the body into the head center. And take your seat. as conscious soul. And you breathe now through the head center. I and the soul are one. As you remember this, I am conscious soul, and I am meditating. As the soul is recognized, immediately at the same time, the crown chakra opens. And as the crown chakra opens, you have access to the overriding soul that starts to guide the process of recognizing your place within the ashram. And from that place, that line of light continues upwardly, streaming this silver, blue, white light, upward, upward, into the heart of the masters and teachers, in form and not in form. And just touch this place with your consciousness. And feel that Christ light blessing you, blessing everything. And let this light heal you, heal us, heal our world of pure love. Christ is the teacher of love. And just gently becoming aware that that light can continue upward through the heart of Shambhala, through the heart of our sun, all the way to the heart of Sirius. Sense this. And in the space, still seated in the cave center, in the heart of the head, we'll use this seed thought for the silence. I take my place in service with the divine plan. I take my place in service with the divine plan. Om. I take my place in service with the divine plan. Om. We take our place together in service with the divine plan. Om. Let that descending light heal, make right, influence, assist, guide, help our world heal, knowing you have a place in all of this. We have a place that matters to hold our light brightly. And just allow yourself to then circulate impressions of this meditation into the group chalice of us all. And in that group chalice, it becomes available to everyone as we've conditioned through our heart. These impressions. And then just in these next moments, allowing those impressions turn into eventually thought forms, creative response, wise action, in perfect timing and in divine will. Knowing that really it's a few more days that you have access to all of this. And so you may have insights tonight or tomorrow morning or the next day or now. And just feeling yourself come gently back into this moment where we will recite, if you want, with me, the great invocation. In a moment, followed by 3 ohms. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into all human minds. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into all human hearts. May the coming one return to earth. From the center, where the will of God is known, let purpose guide all little human wills, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center, which we call the human race, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Om. 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 Yes, and these meditations are up on Meditation Mount's website if you want to listen again. The exact time is at 2:26 tomorrow, so you can always touch it again if you like. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. So let's remain on the mountaintop together for a while. So we're standing at the summit. We're bathed in light supernal. Our chalice of the group heart has been filled. And we're going to use this full chalice to pour out our blessings to the world. So at each of the 3 soundings of the Tibetan bell, we will send out blessings of lighted love through the focused intent of our group heart. This is our act of service. This is an act of loving will, of compassion. So to prepare ourselves, let's take a few deep, gentle breaths so that we bring our breathing in resonance. We begin to breathe together, to conspire, to breathe with each other, and then to feel our breath and our heartbeats coming into resonance with the heartbeat of our planet. And we center ourselves in the one heart. So let us send out 3 waves of blessing through an act of focused, loving intent. We send out the light supernal into the world, seeing it dispel the darkness in the veils of daily life caused by ignorance, separation, and hatred. Through an act of focused, loving intent, we send this greater light from our shared heart into the world to touch the hearts of all our sisters and brothers in the one human family, igniting the fire of love and revealing the presence of that indwelling light that is the signature of our true sovereign nature, our essential divinity. And through an act of focused, loving intent, we leave the mountaintop and together we descend into the valley of daily life, bringing with us the gift of the light of truth, goodness, and beauty. Having received the light, we are now the bringer and giver of that light. So thank you for your presence and participation in this group World Service Meditation from Meditation Mount. We're here in the Ojai Valley in Southern California, and we join with you, and we join with all our sisters and brothers around the world, holding our planet in our hearts and holding the vision of the birth of something new, the phoenix rising from the ashes of the current situation all around the world. So on behalf of all of us here at Meditation Mount, we bid you good night and farewell. May we be safe. May we be light-filled. May we be centered in love. Namaste.